Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Double T podcast. My name is Double T, and I am your humble host, wishing you all a happy day. I'm sorry these podcasts aren't coming as quick as I had hoped, but I have been doing my due diligence, watching Senate confirmation hearings and watching everything that's going on in Washington, making sure that I can bring you the facts and not the fake. Um, One thing that I'd like to say, folks, is I was hoping that with this election, we would get back to a little bit more of caring and unity amongst our country. The American people spoke. They issued a mandate to President Trump, and there were no secrets here. Trump said exactly what he was going to do for the last year. And now he's doing it, and everybody's up in arms. Understand something. You look at everything that's going on around you and how everything that's gone on over the last 4 years and even prior to that is affecting you today. Folks, we didn't get here overnight. It took a long time to get here. And it's not an easy fix. It's a tough fix. Some people aren't going to like the things that have to be done. Some people are going to get their feelings hurt. But folks, listen, just in the last 4 years, we have a border crisis. We have skyrocketing inflation. We had this Green New Deal that took billions of dollars that was just wasted money. We have gender issues. We've had reckless spending. We have wars in the Middle East. We have a war in Eastern Europe. And America seems to be footing the bill for everything that's going on overseas. And I'm telling you, man, that's going to stop. Trump's not going to put up with that. The same thing goes for NATO. All right. We fund, if I'm not mistaken, we fund the majority of NATO. And again, everybody needs to pay their fair share. And what do I mean by that? Okay, the NATO alliance is an alliance of countries that all contribute. All right. And if one of those countries comes under attack, everybody comes to defend their NATO allies. Well, who's the biggest and the best? We are. Who's going to do the defending? We are. Who's paying most of NATO? We are. So countries that do have money, Italy, Germany, Poland, all of these countries have to pay their fair share. That will bring billions of dollars into our treasury so we can use it on our problems. We have a homeless epidemic in this country that's absolutely ridiculous. San Francisco, one of the most beautiful cities in our countries, is a shithole. Literally a shithole. There's actually apps that track it. All right. The homeless situation out there is ridiculous. So, yeah, there's going to be some shock and awe here. You now have a working president. You don't have a president that worked from 10 to 4 any longer. You have a president that only needs 4 hours of sleep. So, this guy's out there. Day 2, Trump was in North Carolina looking at months-old hurricane damage, wondering, where's FEMA? He was in California, which was abysmal. And he was in Nevada for a rally, making sure that they knew that his pledge of no tax on tips was real. Let's jump back to California because I thought it was so funny, it was sad, if that makes any sense. Gavin Newsom was waiting on the tarmac for Trump, and Trump didn't even invite him. But Newsom was waiting for him. And, Trump shook his hand. They talked for a few minutes, and Trump surveyed damages in some of the areas that were safe to go in. And he talked to a lot of residents. And then he went and sat with the mayor and a round table of fire officials, political people, the mayor herself, the fire chief, and I'm not sure if the governor was there, but he went back and forth with that mayor. And, they were talking, it's going to be 18 months before these people can start rebuilding. And Trump says, nah, it doesn't work for me. He says, you can't tell these people that it's going to take 18. Well, the insurance company, and here comes all the excuses. And, we have to, and Trump just looked at her and said, let these people do it themselves. Let them get dumpsters. Let them start clearing the rubble out themselves. They want to get back to work. They want to clear the spots out so they can rebuild their homes. And she goes, well, we're going to see what we can do to get it as quickly as we can. And Trump looked at her and says, what's wrong with tomorrow? He says, you guys are very ill prepared for this fire. He says, one of the things that's really good against fire is water, which you guys have a ton of. And Trump's been talking for a long time about this water that comes down from the mountains, Seattle, Washington. It comes on and it just dumps into the Pacific Ocean. And there's such an abundance of water there that California should tap into that. And they need forest management so that brush and those sticks aren't so dry all the time, and they should clean the goddamn forests. So, he made them look like absolute fools. But something, folks, this shock and awe is going to, people are just going to be going, and it's going to be over, and the country is going to be better off for it. If you're one of those people that listens to those cackling hens on The View, I don't watch The View, but on some of the political shows that I get my news from, they do show clips of meltdowns that they have, and it's my entertainment. So this past week or over the weekend, the president of Colombia decided not to accept 2 plane loads of illegal immigrants back to Colombia because they were in handcuffs. So he sent the planes back. Trump said, okay, well, if you're going to send the planes back, I just want to let you know we're going to put a 50% tariff on any goods that you import into our country. That set off the girls on The View, particularly Ana Navarro, because a lot of flowers come from Colombia, and she's afraid she won't get flowers on Valentine's Day because of that. And our esteemed congresswoman from the Bronx, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, better known as AOC, she was upset because she might have to pay more for her coffee. That's what they're upset about. They're not upset about the fact that we unloaded 2 plane loads of immigrants. President of Colombia got on the phone with Trump and he said, Mr. President, I'm sorry, it was a big misunderstanding. Would you like me to send my presidential jet to come down and get those prisoners? Problem over. Tom Homan is doing a fantastic job. People, understand something. People are very misinformed about this mass deportation. Okay? They think that ICE is going to storm into your office and take Sergio because Sergio's an undocumented immigrant. That's not the case. Okay. There are tons of convicted criminals, rapists, murderers, repeat offenders that are walking our streets today that don't belong here. Those are the guys we're going after first. Okay? You got to understand how these migrants affect your life. Okay? And I don't know if it's in your community, but it's certainly in many communities. Okay? They have shut down schools and have children gone back to remote learning so migrants can live in the schools. They've given them first class accommodations in hotels. We feed them, we clothe them, we give them EBT cards, we give them everything they want. We give them free medical care. Who's paying for it? You are. Why do you think the cost of everything has skyrocketed? That's a big part of it. So we need to remove these violent criminals out of our country first. Okay. And if you're a Tren de Agua member or an MS-13 member and you get caught and there's an undocumented alien with you, he's going too. He's just, a happy birthday present. So you got to understand that what's happening in our country today is happening for a reason. And it's happening by a decree from the American people. You might not like that. And that's okay. But the majority of the country spoke. 75 million people spoke. Just a little quick update. Marco Rubio was confirmed as Secretary of State. Pete Hegseth was confirmed as Defense Secretary. Kristi Noem confirmed as Homeland Security. And she, on day one, was out on the streets of New York with Tom Homan. That I thought was amazing. John Ratcliffe was confirmed at CIA. Lee Zeldin, I believe, will be getting confirmed this weekend. Elise Stefanik was confirmed as United Nations Ambassador. I watched the Robert Kennedy hearings today. Boy, was that contentious. Boy, I tell you, these Democrats, because he flipped and he's not, I don't even know if he's a Democrat, to be honest with you. I think he went independent. But because he is not on the Democratic side of that dais, they are just absolutely pissed off at him. Doug Burgum should go this weekend for Secretary of Interior. Doug Collins should go for Veterans Affairs this weekend. And Scott Bessent was already approved for Secretary of Scott was Treasury. There's a few more in here, but those were the big ones. The one that they're thinking they might have some problems with, and God only knows why, is Tulsi Gabbard. They have been going after Tulsi Gabbard for years, and I don't know why. She is a 21-year decorated military veteran who has seen combat on more than one occasion. She is a true American patriot and another Democrat that turned Republican, and there might be some hiccups with that, but I hope not, because I love Tulsi. I loved her when she was a Democrat, to be very honest with you. But that's the synopsis we have for today. I'm going to keep this a little short because we're going to try to come back with another one in a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, to give you some updates on what's happening. I would like you to remember and keep in mind, folks, that tomorrow is granted to no one. So please, I beg of you to take a moment and stop and smell the roses. And if you have an opportunity to do a random act of kindness for someone, please take that opportunity. For every random act of kindness that you do makes this world a much better place to live. So, until we meet again, this is your old pal, Double T, saying, ciao, ciao.
Memories pressed between the pages of my mind. Memories sweeping through the ages just like wine. Quiet thoughts come floating down and settle softly to the ground like golden autumn leaves around my feet. I touch them and they burst apart with sweet memories. Sweet memories of holding hands and red bouquets and twilights trimmed in purple haze, laughing eyes and simple ways, quiet nights and gentle days with you.